Definitely a shout out to all of the BMX and skater kids. I grew up watching Tony Hawk. I just watched a video of the dude landing a 720 at 52 years old, and it made me think about the things I don't see in kids today. Where when we were growing up, we had that grit to just try trick after trick after trick, skateboarder, BMX, grafting your skin to the pavement for free, and then getting back up and doing it again. And some weird way, it taught you this perseverance to just keep going because you just wanted to land it so bad. That is inspirational to sit there and watch a video of that Tony at 52 years old bust out a 720. And it's one of those things that you keep seeing these articles come out about why certain generations don't succeed as much and they need grit and grit. And then there's like a TEDx speaker talking about grit. And it's like, man, I would spend days trying to land a trick. Um, just, I can't remember how many times I was just bleeding, rock stuck in me. Um, it was painful. But I would spend the whole day just trying to land one trick. And every time you tried it, you got 0.5% closer to actually landing it. And you think about the amount of mental toughness you had to do that. And anytime we get hurt, your body and your mind tells you to run, right? Goes save yourself. And I feel like the skateboard kids and the BMX kids, they just didn't have that in them. They didn't run and they didn't hide. You ever watch the crazy skate videos? These people will just bounce themselves off the pavement and they'll be dizzy for a little bit and they'll get back up and do it again. There's no greater like metaphor for life because life's gonna keep kicking your ass down, and as soon as you get up and dust yourself off, it's gonna kick you down again. I don't when you drive around the neighborhoods, you don't see the kids on the BMX bikes anymore. I don't see so many skater kids anymore. If I do, they're covered in like they're on electric scooters with like full body armor on, like they're getting like they're on a SWAT team or something. Like, why do you need a Kevlar vest to go do a kickflip? Um, and I get it. You want the kids to be safe, but I think about the stupid shit we did, right? Uh, I watched the milk crate challenge that's pretty popular right now, and it makes me laugh because we would go jack milk crates from 7-Eleven and build ramps out of them. So when you see these people walking over the milk crates, and you think, that's crazy. Imagine just going full bore on a skateboard with a piece of plywood you found in someone's trash stacked up on milk crates. Those things they weren't stable, and that ramp would come crashing down. The milk crates would go flying. You fall off your bike or your board. You land on top of the milk crates. Like, oh man, it was a bloodbath. But that's like the stuff we did as kids. Took a chaise lounge chair and used that as a ramp on the milk crates to jump our BMX bikes off. Or shit, I think we jumped someone's sister's 10-speed off it and tacoed the rim. I was like, that's like less than 10 years old doing this stuff. And I realized a lot of kids just aren't built that way anymore. It's we never went out with the intentions of getting hurt, but we always got hurt. We were always doing something that was stupid, but it was fun. We never wanted to sit in the house and play video games all day. And he realized so much of like Tony's success probably came from that skateboard mentality where I want it so bad, I'm just gonna keep trying and I'm not gonna give up. I'm never gonna give up. At 52 years old, you see this guy fall, 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 and then he finally lands at 720 at 52. Dude, I woke up at 38 now. I'm like, man, my knees hurt. This dude's 52 years old, busting out 720s, and what a model to like live life after. It's you think about if you had that same mindset, well, whatever you're doing right now. Those people that are trying to start a YouTube channel and they give up on their sixth video. Like, Tony probably tried a trick 200 times in a day before he even got close, and then you're trying to build up anything in life, and you just quit. Trying to diet, and you quit. Trying to start this new career, you quit. It's like if you don't get instant gratification, you quit. And I feel like the world is going that way, that if it doesn't come easy, then we don't do it anymore. And then what happens is nothing great comes from that. Every once in a while, you see someone great or something great happens because they were either amazingly talented. Occasionally, someone got lucky. Even less often, you see the people who just grinded it out and never gave up. And you think about it, when we were growing up, the BMX kids and the skateboard kids, no one liked them. Um, you're all losers, and you didn't realize what you were learning back then about perseverance and focus, and just looking at a task and doing it over and over and over again until you finally get it. It's no doubt to me a lot of Gen Xers ended up really successful with that mindset. But again, I don't see that in today's world with my friends' kids. It's they to be honest, they rarely leave the house anymore. And I say, hey, you should get the kid on board, and that's like, well, that's too dangerous. And I'm like, well, to me, dangerous is sheltering your kid from the world and then setting them free at 22 years old for a world they're not prepared for. That's goddamn dangerous. Nothing wrong with going out and sharing a little bit of skin with the pavement. So I could probably charge the cities for the amount of skin I gave their pavement. They should cut me a check for that. The things you never forget: the first time you stepped into a half pipe, and this is like when I wasn't even good at boarding yet, and someone had one in the alley. Don't even ask. It was in the alley, and when you drop in, you just put too much weight on your back foot, and if you're a boarder, you know how that goes. And then you just remember your head sounds like someone smashing a melon against the concrete. Um, yeah, I'll never forget that moment. But what do? You're dizzy. You shake it off. You got back up and did it again. I did the same goddamn thing the second time. So, um, but like you develop this fearlessness that I think you need in this world, and whether it was 20 years ago or today, you need that fearlessness. I feel a lot of people today, you walk up behind them and go boo, and they like crap themselves. It's there are so many things like sports, and particularly like BMX and boarding teaches you. Not just the determination and the perseverance, but just being a little tougher. I feel like we look for every way to get weaker, because getting tougher requires a little bit of pain and getting outside your comfort zone. And the world's the world's not nice. The world's gonna beat you up. Bad shit's gonna happen. You're gonna have some bad relationships. You might end up divorced. You might end up sick and in the hospital. You might go bankrupt. People around you are gonna die. Just terrible other things are gonna happen in the world. It's we can't you can't live in a bubble and then you get out here and you get kicked around and beat up. And I felt like at least where I grew up and how I grew up and the things I was exposed to kind of prepared me for that. Now I don't think boarding or BMX is a one-stop shop to fix everyone's mental toughness, but does it teach you a certain level of determination and grit? Well, hell yeah, it does. Um, Even in the BMX world, you think, you always you don't see so much of the BMX, but I was a freestyle kid. I don't know how many times I was doing some trick and I caught a handlebars in my rib cage. You know, I've been like hit hard in football and it didn't hurt as bad as those BMX stunts. Or you're trying to do a Miami hopper and you don't really fully understand what you're doing because you're like 12 years old, and by the time you do the endo and twist your handlebars around, you realize that you got these really long pegs on and it throws your balance off, and the next thing you know you're sucking on pavement. It's the things you'd never forget. But I cracked open YouTube and I a lot of times it'll let autoplay happen to see, you get exposed to different things. And this Tony Hawk video pops up. Yeah, Tony Hawk at 52 years old, busting out a 720. I'm like, well, shit. Dude, it's got me inspired for the old day. I'm like, this guy's quite a bit older than me, and he's out there doing it. And like, he never gave up. And I just thought about watching him as a kid and other people as well in the BMX and board world. And we're so quick to say, oh, the kid was skating at the parking lot that had a no skating sign. Must be a bad kid. Like, do you ever step back and realize what they're learning right now? I'll tell you what, do you expect a 13-year-old to have like an MBA and a stock portfolio? Dude, this is what we did as teenagers. We were having fun. But anyway, shout out to all the skateboard and BMX kids, man. I feel like while they're still out there, it might be a dying breed. If I see one more 10-year-old on an electric scooter, I'm gonna lose my mind. Man, get a board, get a bike, find those curbs. And where I grew up south of Detroit, every driveway had these curbs that had these big lips on them, and you just got barreling down the street, and you hit those things, and if you got the right curve, you could bust out, a nice 180. If you got a really nice curve and you had a little bit of time, you might even get close to a 360, but you're going to probably taco a rim on that thing. That's all we did. We just went, that was a whole day, was curb hopping. Um, all that, finding loading docks or riding off the loading docks, taking boards, jumping off the loading docks. Busted a few boards. Yeah, it didn't work out so well. Man, that was like being a kid to me. And times done changed, but I realized like so much of what we did or how we grew up translated into how we operate in the real world, especially at work and our own friendships and personal relationships, dealing with the adversities in life. You learn most of that stuff before you really become 16 years old. It's really hard to change behaviors and acquire certain things when you're like 27. You're kind of set in your ways already, right? You've been programmed a certain way. And there's those people that are just kind of fearless, not in a dumb way, but fearless because yeah, they've done shaved off half their elbow on a parking block before, and you start thinking about whatever it is you're facing isn't that scary to them. It's you realize that it scabs up, and you get better. Um, just don't think it's a fun way to just live, always kind of being afraid of your own shadow. So, anyways, I thought it was cool. If you jump on YouTube, look at Tony Hawk 720. Find that video of him at 52 years old and doing that. You got to ask yourself, it's like, well, what's my excuse? I'm sitting here like right now, like, what's my excuse? This dude's doing man, there's so many things I should be doing right now. If he can do that, I got no excuse. How many excuses do you have is the question. So that's it for now. I might catch you on the next one.